If you look at the picture on the left-hand side, there's a little symbol that you can raise your hand and just show me that you're able to hear me. And if you look at the picture on the right-hand side, it shows you how to ask a question. So if anything comes up during our webinar, please post your question in there and questions will be answered by direct email to you. Okay, so just a little bit about Interrelate. Interrelate has been running educational programs and services for children and their families since 1926. Interrelate's Bullying Awareness Program, or the BAP, was first developed in 2000, and in the year 2015, Interrelate decided the BAP was a little outdated and it needed to be revamped to suit the children and their families of today. So we included things like cyberbullying and cyber safety. Interrelate runs the BAP in schools for years 3, 4, 5 and 6, and it helps children to identify bullying, develop strategies to deal with bullies and stamp out bullying in their school and online. So over the course of today's webinar, we're going to discuss what bullying is. We'll look at some signs that your child might be the target of bullying. We'll also discuss some signs that your child might actually be the bully. Then we'll move on to cyberbullying and looking at cyber safety. What to do if your child is being bullied online, or alternatively, if your child is bullying others online. And lastly, we'll just suggest some websites for parents and carers to look at. So you may be wondering, why is this webinar different? What am I going to hear or learn here that I haven't heard already? So throughout today's webinar, we're going to give you real-life examples that have been taken from Interrelate's years of experience working within schools. And we're going to provide you with practical tips and step-by-step guides on what you can do when faced with certain situations. Today we really just aim for everybody to leave here with something that they can implement or use at home. So before we can discuss bullying, I guess it's important to clarify exactly what bullying is. So bullying is repeated verbal, physical, social or emotional behaviour that is harmful and involves the misuse of power by an individual or group towards one or more persons. In the bullying awareness program that we run in schools, our students are taught a bully is someone who teases, annoys, excludes, frightens or hurts someone else on purpose, repeatedly and knowingly. And we really emphasise the on purpose, repeatedly and knowingly so that students understand it's not an accident or a one-off. So let's have a look at an example. Sally and Christy were playing tips. Sally was running so fast, when she tipped Christy, she pushed her over. This is not bullying. It's a one-off, it was an accident. If we look at another example, Tim and John play tips every lunchtime. John always tells Tim he can't play. When John is in, he chases Tim only. When he catches Tim, he pushes him over. Then he waits for Tim to get up, only to push him over again and runs off laughing. So this is bullying, as John's behaviour is deliberate, it's repeated, and he knows he's hurting Tim. Let's have a look then if your child is being bullied. There are some signs you can watch out for. These signs can be obvious and others are more subtle. So here are some obvious signs that you can watch out for. They're not wanting to go to certain places such as school or other extracurricular activities like dancing or sports, etc. They may have bruises, scratches, torn clothing, missing or damaged possessions. Your child may be tense or tearful, unhappy after school or other activity where the bullying is happening. So these signs may occur over time or they can happen all of a sudden. So here's an example. Jenny has always loved school but this year she started year 4 and is suddenly reluctant to go. So in this instance, it's really important to discuss with your child any changes that may have occurred. If the bullying is happening at school, you'd say, are there any new students or teachers at the school this year? Do you get along with them? Is there anyone at school you're not getting along with? Then we also have some subtle signs. So these are subtle because they're often passed off as something else. So subtle signs may include feeling sick, complaining of a headache or stomach ache, being irritable or anxious, become less communicative or appear shy, prefer to spend time alone, they're aggressive or have short-tempered behaviour, or aggressive towards their siblings or other family members. You may notice a change in their eating habits. They may wake at night, even wet the bed. You may notice they've misplaced their belongings. School marks or the grades start to lack or go down. Although these signs are subtle, they're often repetitive, and they occur when certain topics are raised, such as the topic of school, dance or sport. Some children who are being bullied will often take their frustration out on others and appear to be rude or short. Others may blame themselves for the bullying, and they may display some negative feelings towards themselves. So let's have a look at 2 examples of subtle signs a child is being bullied. Every time I try to talk to Matthew about school, he becomes defensive and closed off. He just seems to always want to be in his room or left alone. And another example, I've bought Maria a lot of stationery this year. I've even put her name on it, but it still goes missing. Whenever I ask her about it, she won't talk to me. Plus her grades have really dropped. I just don't know what's happening with her. So if your child is being bullied, there are some things that you can do and some actions that you can take. It's really important to help your child work out some strategies. If the bullying is verbal, help your child to develop skills to ignore it so the bully doesn't get a satisfaction of a reaction. Help your child be confident. You may want to physically show them how to walk, look confident with their head up. You can practice with them a supply of quick, non-insulting or vengeful responses like, do you think I care? Talk to someone who cares. Big deal, so, or that's your opinion. You really want to try and enhance their self-esteem. So praise them when they do well and really celebrate their successes. Help your child feel good about other things in their life. Remind them of fun things they have coming up. Remind them of what they're good at and their strengths, and reinforce the relationships they have with their good friends. So basically, we want to empower the child and not let the bullying take over them. If these things don't work and your child is still struggling, then there is further action you can take. If the bullying is at school, firstly, we suggest having a look at the school's website and looking for their policy for addressing bullying. All schools should have one. You can talk to the child's teacher. Don't assume that the teacher knows. Work out some strategies with the teacher and then let your child know what you've discussed with the teacher, and the 3 of you can work together. If essential, you can speak with the principal or deputy principal. If the bullying is happening at an extracurricular activity, you can involve the sporting club or the dance company. You approach the head of the club, advise them of what's happening. Again, don't assume that the club is aware. If it's absolutely necessary, you can remove your child from that club and re-enroll them in an alternative. It's important that the child isn't removed from their activities altogether though. Instead, just find a club which is a better suit. If you believe your child's being bullied, yet they are reluctant to speak with you, you can just gently remind them of another trusted adult they have in their life. This may be the other parent, uncle, aunt, older sibling, cousin, teacher, even a school counsellor. So when your child is being bullied, there are a few things to keep in mind. Children won't always be forthcoming with information. especially if they believe they'll get in trouble. So just remember to reassure your child you won't be upset or angry with them and it's not their fault. If they do disclose to you they are being bullied, just try to remember to take a deep breath and say something positive. For example, thank you for coming to talk to me. It was brave of you. I'm sure it's difficult to talk about. Try and contain your own emotions. It can be difficult as a parent or carer to hear that your child's being bullied, but getting angry or upset won't help. If you are feeling very stressed, perhaps you can offer your child a short distraction. Give yourself time to collect your thoughts. So for example, thank you for letting me know. Let's have a chat, but first I'm just going to make a cup of tea. Explain the difference between reporting and dobbing to your child. Many children believe they are dobbing. Instead, explain reporting bullies is very important. It's never okay to bully someone, and remind them that the bully is probably doing it to other children as well, so they could be helping others. It's important to take your child's feelings and fears seriously. Try not to say things like toughen up. Instead, we need to teach our children how to approach and deal with bullying situations, which in turn will help them toughen up. But we have to help them get there first. Avoid the urge to take everything into your own hands unless it's absolutely necessary. This will make your child feel less in control. So it's easy as a parent or carer to say things like, I'll come up to that school and I'll sort this out. But instead, we really want to help our child tackle the issue themselves, and it's more empowering for them. Try and give your child the courage to settle the matter themselves. So this will help them build resilience and develop skills if a bullying situation should arise again. Many times, once a child has successfully dealt with a bully, they know immediately what steps to take next time. Okay, if you have any questions about your child being bullied, again, please post them and we'll answer them to your email. Let's move on to what if your child actually is the bully. So again, there are some signs that your child will display if they're bullying others. They may include talking negatively about other kids, displaying aggression when talking about other kids. They have things that don't belong to them. They might have money, toys, school resources or sports equipment, things like that. Your child is hot-tempered, or they display aggression towards their siblings. They may become physical with their siblings, or your child is very concerned with being popular. They may start to hurt animals, or the most common one we hear is that another parent, teacher, coach, etc. has informed you of your child's behaviour. So let's have a look at some examples. John comes home from soccer training on a high. He seems to love the sport, but when I ask him about his other teammates, he becomes defensive and often brings up Mark, saying, "Who cares about them? They are all hopeless, especially Mark." John often makes suggestions of what the other team should do to Mark. John remarks, "If I was on the other team, I would smash Mark. I would kick him in the shins so hard he wouldn't be able to play." When John and his little brother Sam are playing, he will refer to Sam as Mark, saying, "We have to do things this way or I'll smash you just like I smashed Mark." And another example, Sarah and Jenny are friends and have been for a couple of years now. When Sarah comes home from school, she talks about how nice Jenny is. Sarah explains Jenny always listens to her and does whatever she wants. Jenny will get Sarah's lunch for her, fill up her drink bottle, and even tell other kids they can't sit with Sarah. Sarah believes she's the most popular girl in Year 4. So if you think your child might be the bully, there are some tips here. So when your child makes negative remarks about other kids, don't reinforce their behaviour or just pass it off like not everybody gets along. The behaviour is concerning, especially if it's repeated. Remind your child of the things that make them special and what they're good at. And just acknowledge that there are things they're not so good at as well. So everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Try and reinforce a tolerance of differences at home. Everyone is different and respecting these differences is important. If your child points out a person's difference, you can just gently remind them that that's what makes that person special, just as you are different to others also. There are some things that you can do. You can talk to the school or the organisation where the bullying is happening about their approach to bullying and just ask what you can do from home to support the approach. Check back regularly and see how your child is behaving and just let them know that you are aware of it. Explain to your child what bullying is. Talking with your child about what they're doing and what they might be saying. Don't assume your child knows that they're actually bullying others. They may believe that they're just having fun or they're just joking. Just ensure that you support any consequences enforced and decisions made by the school or the sporting club, etc. You may want to enforce your own consequences at home if necessary. Enforce a bullying won't be tolerated attitude at home and remind them of positive times and how they behaved then. You can also just review and assess the key relationships they have inside and outside of their home. The bullying may be a learned behaviour from someone close to them. So if you have any questions about your child bullying others, please post them. And we're going to move on to cyber safety and cyberbullying. So cyberbullying is bullying that's done through the use of technology and over the internet. It can be done using mobile phone, laptop, tablet, computer, just any device with the internet. You may also hear the term trolling. So trolling is searching the internet for many different people to bully, and trolls usually make quick remarks or comments and then move on to the next person. So the difference between trolls and cyberbullies is trolls are mean to lots of different people on lots of different sites, where cyberbullies really target one person and repeatedly bully them. So you may be thinking, look, cyberbullying it doesn't apply to me or my child, but bullying behaviour actually peaks in the middle primary school years and the first year of high school. Studies show that 10 to 14-year-olds are the most common age group partaking in and reporting cyberbullying. 83% of students who bully online also bully others offline, and at the moment Australia is actually ranked #1 in the world for cyberbullying. So your child may already be using the internet to communicate through school emails, apps, games, and as your child grows, it is inevitable in today's world that their internet usage will increase, and more than likely they'll start to use social media more to communicate with friends and family. Before your child really sinks their teeth into social media and the internet in general, it's important to set some house rules or guidelines for them to go by. If rules are in place initially, there is less likely to be a drama later on. But trying to enforce rules onto a teenager who's already been using the internet for some time is going to prove more difficult. So rules or guidelines help children to be safe. It helps you be aware of what your child's doing and seeing online. They're important as they assure your child is not spending all their spare time on the internet, and they set the standard for what is expected early on. So we suggest that you develop an internet contract or agreement, and it's important to work together with your child so they feel a part of the process, and let your child actually come up with some of the rules themselves. You can have everyone sign the agreement, place it in a visible space, set some consequences for not following or abiding by it. This way your child knows what will happen if they go against the agreement, and it's important as parents and carers not to, don't forget to enforce them. Make a time for renegotiation on the agreement, so it may be at the end of the year, before a new school year starts or something like that. And this is important as the rules which apply to your child now probably won't be relevant in years to come. We do have an example internet contract available, and we'll actually send that out to each of you to your email addresses at the end of the webinar. Okay, so what if your child is being bullied online? Again, there are some things that you can do. You can set up controls. Control tools help parents or carers monitor and limit what their child does online. There are many tools available and they all offer different functions, with some even allowing parents to limit the time children spend on specific websites or games. But no tool is actually 100% effective at blocking access to inappropriate content. So that's always something to keep in mind. You can help your child to block, unfriend, unfollow the bully. All social media websites allow users to report people or block people from contacting them. If it's on a mobile phone, you can always block that number from contacting your child. You can reassess your child's privacy settings. If necessary, just close your child's profile and help them start a new one. Report the bully. We really can't stress this enough. If your child is not the target but sees it occurring, they can still report it. It's very important. Reporting bullies helps actually put a stop to it, and just remind your child that, again, the bully's probably not just doing it to them, they're doing it to other children as well. Just continue to educate your child on appropriate online behaviour. If you see something on your own social media that might be a good teachable moment, show your child something that's inappropriate. You can always save a copy, take a screenshot, and report it. You can report it to the esafety.gov.au. When you report it to that website, they actually do follow up, and then they'll send you a report back of the outcome. If it's really bad, you can print it, take a screenshot, and take it to the police. We say never delete the evidence. Always make a note, keep a copy of what is said. You really may need it later on, especially if you're going to involve a school or organisation or the police. Some of you may not be aware, but in Australia, cyberbullying can actually be a crime. So what if your child is bullying people online? Again, there are some signs to watch out for. So they may become secretive about their online activity. They may quickly change the screen or close websites when you're near. They might have a large number of social networking accounts on multiple sites. So this could be a sign that they're using different personas. You might overhear insults or snarky remarks, sarcastic laughter while they're online or texting. They could be spending long hours online, almost obsessively, perhaps even at times when they should be at rest or the rest of the family is asleep. Your child might start spending time with friends who behave in ways that are mean or uncaring. So you might notice a change in their social group. If you think your child is bullying people online, there are some things that you can do. So firstly, just explain to your child what cyberbullying is. Many children make joking comments. They don't realise they could have hurt the other person's feelings. So some people will join the chat rooms or group chats and they start to follow other people's lead. So if remarks are being made about another person, they start to join in on that. So it's important that we teach our children to stand up for others online too and report the bullies. Again, you can enforce consequences, whether this might be something that you've set out in your contract or agreement, or just something that you've come up with as their parent. So an example would probably be just remove all their technology for a period of time. You can help your child to take responsibility and understand the consequences of their actions. And just remind your child that they could be breaking the law. So as I said previously, cyberbullying can be a crime in Australia. If it's happening in your house, there are some things that you need to consider. So cyberbullying is often a way to relieve boredom or a way to inject excitement into their lives. So it becomes a form of entertainment. Cyberbullying can give a sense of power and status to those that are doing it, especially if they have an audience. Some children just really don't see that they're doing anything wrong. They see it as a harmless joke, especially when they have a sense that everybody does it. Online, there's this sense of invincibility. So kids believe they won't get caught, and many bullies often use anonymous identities just to avoid detection. So it's one of the reasons why cyberbullying can continue so long and be so relentless. But just remind your child that everything they do online can be traced back to them. And talk to your child about their actions and just question whether they would do or say the same thing at the park or in the playground. If your child is bullying others online, the best way to put a stop to it is just remove their device. So if your child is using the internet or wants to start using the internet more, maybe social networking, and you're not too familiar, there are some websites that can help. Again, there's the Office of E-Safety Commissioner, and it's a great resource for adults. It has videos and tutorials, information on jargon and language kids use. They have parental control information, and again, it's also the place that you can go to report cyberbullying. And like I said before, if you report something on that website, they actually do send you a report back of the outcome. There's Bullying No Way, again, a great resource for information. It has facts about cyberbullying, tips and steps if your child is being bullied or is a bully. What to do if your child just simply sees cyberbullying. They provide videos, links and downloadable material as well. Here at Interrelate, we have the 100 plus questions kids have about bullying book, which can be found on our website at interrelate.org.au/resources. Like I said, if your child wants to start using social media sites that you're not familiar with, most of them have information pages for parents or carers. So there's a couple there, just the three main: Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. But if you Google any program that your child wants to use, and you can just click on the information. If you have any questions at all that you're not sure about, even if it's anything to do with online, post them here. Like I said, we'll email you answers back. So that's it for the information on this webinar. Thank you for attending. We hope that we've given you some useful information and you're taking something away with you. Interrelate have a whole host of programs we run, so have a look at our website if you wish to run any of them. Or we also run school-based programs as well. So if you'd like to have something in your child's school, head to our school services and have a look what we have there. Okay, I'll leave your webinar open for the next few minutes, and if you have any questions that have come up, please post them on. Again, thank you for attending. We will email you out a thank you email, and you'll also get a copy of the internet contract or agreement in that too. Okay, have a good day.